was actually a $20,000 wholesale fee, which was a nice kind of welcome to the business type of experience.
Oh man, yeah. Your first deal was a $20,000 wholesale.
Right, yeah.
Chris Connors, nice to meet you. Thank you for joining me on this interview. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How about yourself, Jerry?
Fantastic. Thank you. And I'm excited to talk to you because as a wholesaler, you've gotten into the business. You started doing some deals, and I want to kind of hear about your success, hear about your journey. I was talking with you offline a little bit, and you were telling me how these type of videos on the channel that you find really helpful because you get to see. It's one thing if Jerry says, "Oh yeah, look at all the success you can have, and look at what I've done," and and people kind of think, "Well, yeah, of course you can do it. You're the expert." But when you see everyday normal people, learn the information, take action, get results, it kind of makes it feel more real, feels more human, right? And so thank you for taking time to kind of share your experience.
Right. And it's also kind of cool to see kind of how everyone gets there, kind of in their own path and everything, the different struggles, different types of people have, and just kind of the obstacles they overcome in different deals.
Honestly, I learn a ton from these interviews. I mean, you tell me things and I'm like, wow, that's really cool. You did that. And that's amazing. And way to go. And, overcoming obstacles and defying the odds that we tend to think are there all the time. So no, I appreciate that. So thank you. Tell us a little bit about you, like where are you from? What market are you in? Are you doing deals in your backyard? When you got started, kind of a little bit of your start.
Yeah, so I'm originally from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, but I actually got started in Tampa, Florida. I was living down there, kind of got into wholesale real estate stumbled upon some of your videos on YouTube. That's kind of what got me started. And so we started making some calls. We came across, it was me and my buddy, my roommate at the time, came across a property down in Tampa. And we had gotten that one under contract. That was the first one we did. So at the time, that was my backyard. Now I actually live in Denver, Colorado. So that's no longer my backyard.
You're living in Tampa?
Yes. At the time I was. Yes.
So you're living in Tampa, and that first deal was in Tampa, but now you're working the Denver market.
I actually haven't been working the Denver market yet.
Okay.
That's a new experience for me.
Okay.
I want to get into the Denver market eventually. I actually focus on the Philadelphia market now.
Philadelphia. Okay.
Yes. So Tampa was what got me started. It was a good little deal. It was actually a $20,000 wholesale fee, which was a nice kind of welcome to the business type of experience.
Oh man. Yeah. Your first deal was a $20,000 wholesale.
Right. Yeah. And then me and my buddy, we started venturing into the Pennsylvania market. So we came across the deal. It was a 7-property package, and it was kind of what you call a daisy chain. I got it from one wholesaler. I found another wholesaler. We all partnered together and we sold the deal. It came out to be like a $60,000 wholesale fee though, because of the size of the package. So
60,000 for you or total or 60,000? What's that? Total.
It was total. So split down another 20,000 towards my company, which is pretty cool. A nice welcome to the business.
So that was another 20,000 for you on that deal.
Right. Yeah.
In the Philadelphia market. Yeah.
Right.
And that was a package of 7 homes. So the end buyer bought all 7 homes.
Yes.
Gotcha. Nice.
And since that deal, I've actually done another deal with that end buyer. It was, again, a JV. I actually work pretty regularly with this other wholesale company now. So we've done a couple JVs of the sort. But yeah, that kind of broke into the Pennsylvania market. And what I've been finding in that market is there's a decent bit of deals and everyone wants to buy in that market. It seems like maybe it's just because I know it being from there, that might help a lot. But
definitely when you're familiar with your market, even if you've never done real estate, but you're familiar with the geography, like, the main roads, the town a little bit, what areas are kind of higher end, lower end, all the things, that learning curve of understanding just the nature of a market is a massive learning curve. So like, for example, when I do a virtual deal and I don't know the neighborhood, I don't know the market at all, it takes me a minute. I've got to really try to get my head around what's going on because I just don't know that market. And so
Right.
there's a layer of, you add a layer of risk or just a layer of uncertainty when you don't understand the market. When you do, though, doing virtual from like Tampa to a market you understand is very doable. Like you're doing it, virtually. And that's very exciting.
Yeah, I agree. And honestly, it opens up a lot of doors because we can do multiple different markets. I'm kind of at the point where we've had a bit of a consistent flow of deals. So I'm starting to assemble a team. So that's kind of allowing us to kind of hit different markets, such as what we're doing, focusing on right now has been Philadelphia, like I said, Pennsylvania, and Mobile, Alabama is another one we're kind of getting. Just because it seems like it's not as touched, as some of the other markets, I guess would be a word to say.
The way I like to talk about that is, a lot of people want to hit the super trendy markets like the Vegas and the Phoenix.
Right.
And not that you can't do deals there and make money, but those markets are also very saturated with flippers. Whereas some of these, I call them sleepy markets, like, I don't know, Tulsa, Oklahoma, or Mobile, Alabama, or, North Carolina, wherever. There's still a strong buyer market there, but not a ton of competition. It makes it kind of nice to do deals there.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah, that's exciting. So when you work with like JV on these deals, like the Pennsylvania deals, were you on the JV? Were you on the acquisition side where you found the deal, or were you on the buyer side where you had the buyer?
I've actually done both.
Okay.
So I've done mainly the acquisition side, but I do have a couple end buyers. I actually just assigned a deal on Monday, which was a JV. To me, I got the deal and I assigned it to my buyer. So kind of both sides.
Okay, good. So you probably see the value in not just, obviously there's always value in finding the deals, because when you find the deals, you control a lot, because you can either JV or find your own buyer, and you control everything because it's your deal. So you get that, obviously, but it's also great to work your own buyers, find your own buyers, build your own buyers list, and network and connect with other wholesalers. Because a lot of times there's another wholesaler that might have a buyer, and even splitting the assignment, their buyer might be twice whatever buyer you are going to find. And so it's still a massive win.
Right. Agreed.
Yeah.
Not to mention future business down the line. Once you get a business relationship going with one of these other wholesalers, they're likely to send you their deals as you are to them. And, more eyes on a deal makes it more likely to get sold, in my opinion. So
totally. Yeah. And it's the idea around this like collaboration over competition. Rather than look at other wholesalers as competition, look at them as people that you can collaborate with, do business together.
Right.
And I believe that mindset, it's an abundant mindset. You're going to win in the long run so much more than if you have this scarcity mindset of, I don't want to talk to anybody else. I want to hoard my own deals. I'm worried about somebody stealing from me. I deal with this a lot where people are like, well, what if they go around you? What if they go around you? Well, yeah, that might happen. But your fear of someone going around you is clouding your vision of building a referral business and building relationships and connecting. So yeah, sure, there are shady people. There are people that are going to do those types of things. They're going to steal your deal or whatever. But I found that that's, 10%. The other 90% is actually building really powerful, strategic, long-term relationships.
Agreed. Yeah. And that's what real estate really comes down to, is a relationship game. You can pretty much 10x your business, in my personal opinion, if you have deals coming from other sources other than just yourself. I can be acquiring maybe 3 deals a month, but then if I have people bringing me deals, that can bring it, maybe that makes it 8 deals a month.
Yeah, totally. So when it comes to now the way you're building your business, you mentioned a couple of these big deals. Like your very first deal was a $20,000 assignment. Let's talk about that one for a minute. Yeah. How did you find that deal? And tell us again how you found your buyer for that deal.
So that deal, we were looking through just Zillow, kind of doing kind of what you preach, the double dip strategy. And this one, it was kind of interesting. It came across one of those 1% brokerages where they just put it up on the MLS and give you the seller's phone number.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like, an agent we thought it would be an agent double dip strategy, and we go in, talk directly to the seller, kind of change our strategy around. But what I found is that actually made it a little easier. I talked to the guy on the phone. I negotiated. I think he wanted maybe like 360 for his property, and it had a pretty decent ARV. It had like a 500 ARV, but it needed a full flip, and it was a really big property. It was, I don't remember how many square feet, but it needed at least 120 in work. So we went in. I think I initially offered him like 215, knowing that I needed to get it for like 260 or less.
Yeah.
And I got it for 250. So I ended up just. And it was,
and original list price was how much again?
It had to be around like 350, 360.
Yeah,
it was
so you literally got it $100,000 lower than original ask price.
Yeah.
I love that. That's so cool.
So initially we posted it up on Facebook, just kind of, trying to find a buyer that way. And then we kind of used your strategy of just kind of going to the recently sold flips within the area. And I called my comps. And that actually, it was kind of weird how it worked out, but they referred us to another wholesaler who actually had a buyer for it. So it just
So one of the agents that represented a flipper referred you to another wholesaler who ended up having the end buyer.
Right.
So cool.
Yeah. Like I said,
that great? That's awesome.
Yeah. I think that kind of helps put me in the right mindset of collaboration in the business because, we probably wouldn't have had the deal sold without that. So.
Yeah. And then I think you mentioned was that the one you've done repeat business with, that same wholesaler?
I have not.
Okay. That was a Philly deal, one of your Philly deals, maybe.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But that's really cool. That's the power of working with agents. I mean, if you think about it, those local agents that are representing flippers, they're connected in the market. So they know people. They know, not only do they know other flippers, like in your case, they knew a wholesaler, they may know contractors. They're well connected to the market. They might have off-market leads. Like it's just so powerful to tap into those relationships with agents. Exactly.
And even just following up from time to time, maybe you'll get a deal every now and then, but at least you're getting some more leads out of it,
Yeah. So tell me what that was like, Chris, when you got that first deal and you see it through to the end and you get this $20,000 check, right? This $20,000 assignment fee. I mean, what was that like? Just maybe try to explain the emotion of going through that.
Yeah. So it was a very interesting time. I had been wholesaling for a little while, kind of, I guess at this point it'd been 2 months. So it'd been at least 2 months without getting paid. My lease had just ended actually where I was living. So I was crashing with my buddy on a boat in Tampa. We were working at the local Starbucks, just making our cold calls. So, money was stretched pretty thin at the time. And one day we were just walking back to the boat and it was one of the most stressful closings I want to say I've ever had yet, because closing day came and went. A week later, it comes and goes again. The hard money lender is nowhere to be found, I guess. Not really sure.
The buyer's hard money lender.
Right. And we're calming the seller down.
Oh, man.
Right before the final closing, when everything's good to go, he ends up getting COVID. And we closed anyway, but he stayed in the property a little too long. Now the buyer's calling me because we didn't hold back anything in escrow to keep him out of there. And, it was kind of stressful, but eventually it just closed. We were like, all right, this is going to close or it's not, but we've gotten to the finish line. So at least we know what we're doing. And it closed, and just having that feeling, just seeing the deposit into, it was a virtual deposit into our account. It was just, unbelievable experience.
Oh man. Yeah. That's really awesome that you share that you were like really at rock bottom and just kept going, kept pushing, kept doing the next obstacle. Yeah. And, you'll continue to face obstacles. That's the nature of the business, but hopefully that experience going through that just allowed you to see that there's so much potential in this business if you're just willing to be consistent, put the work in. Let's be honest, some of it's just luck, but the luck is just the right place at the right time. And the more you're consistent, the more you put yourself in the right place at the right time. So the more lucky you get. People are always like, man, that was just a lucky deal. And it's like, well, maybe, but what you don't see is all the 2 months of consistent effort you put in that didn't go anywhere to then all of a sudden get lucky, right? And get this great deal and all the stars align. Right. And so the way you want to do that is you want to just play the odds. The more you're consistent, the more you make offers, the more you do the work, the more you get lucky. And that's just how it works.
Seriously. It's just about making another call and, putting in more offers, and, eventually they all drop, eventually. Probably by summertime, I want to be able to get to at least 10 deals a month.
Nice. Right? That's a great goal.
I totally agree. This is going to be our most fruitful month. We have 4 closes in December. So
nice.
Keep that expanding. And, that's kind of just the goal there.
Yeah. So 4 closings this month and the goal to get to 10 closings a month. I love it. That's going to put you in really the top 5% of wholesalers in the industry when you're hitting the 10 a month. And how long will that be? This month marks how many months since you started?
This month would be about a year. Yeah, about a year.
About a year. So you got started about a year ago. So, if you think about it, a year into the business, having 4 closings this month, that's phenomenal, Chris. Good for you. Like, I'm really proud of you. That's a great accomplishment.
Appreciate that.
That's just amazing. Guys, leave a comment and say, Chris, you're a flipping genius, because that's not easy to do. And but you're a great example of doing the work, putting in the effort, seeing the results, being consistent. Well, Chris, I'm super excited for you. I can't wait to see you start to hit these big months, and I want to be a part of your journey. So please share with me as you progress. Let me know when you get another awesome deal. And if you were to give one tip to somebody that's working on their first deal, what would be kind of the biggest thing you would share with somebody?
Yeah, I would say just stay consistent and be ready for obstacles. I've never done a deal that hasn't had an obstacle, but if you keep a cool head, stay level, and figure out the way through it, that is the best path forward towards getting your deal. Just keep on making offers. Yeah,
love that. You're so right. Just whatever the next obstacle is, work through it, get to the next one. And it's okay. It's part of the business. Don't get frustrated, just work through things and you'll be fine. Love that.
Right.
I'd love to have you back on the channel and we can talk about where you've gone from now to the next stage and just be in touch with you about your journey and your success. So thank you for all you do and keep pushing, keep doing it.
Awesome. Thank you for having me. Exactly.
Awesome. Well, Chris, thank you again. Guys, if you haven't, be sure to subscribe to the channel and we'll see you on the next video.